Drill Talk, episode 159. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 3 ways to find out what you are about. This is based on a blog I wrote in the past entitled, What Are You About? That may be the hardest question you can ever ask yourself, especially if you've never been asked, because you probably don't have an answer to it. What are you about? Seems very simple, absolutely hard to answer if you don't know and you never thought about it. But the inability to answer that question to a person who does know the answer is very, very bad. So I want everyone to take time out to sit with yourself and get an answer to that. If you need a little help with getting an answer to that, feel free to watch this video. Let's go.
Yo, Drills.
Created by the great wizard of the new world.
Drills Talk, episode 159. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 3 ways to find out what you are about. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, show your love however you would like to show your love. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Let's get started. Number 1. Number 1 is ask. Yeah, very simple. Ask yourself. Ask yourself before someone else asks you and they see that you don't know. Ask yourself, what am I about? Now, this is going to be a private thing. So if you don't have an answer, well, damn, you should have an answer. But if you don't, no one knows. And you're about to have an answer, right? Because you're going to know how to get that answer. But what are you about? It's not who you are. It's not like, what do you do for a living? It's what are you about? What's your ultimate thing? Like, this is why I wake up. What's your why? What are you doing with your life? What are you about? If someone was to ask you that, do you have an answer? Do you even have an idea of how to get that answer? One quick way to see what are you about is understanding that it could be nothing, right? That could be the answer. I'm not about anything. Like, goodness, I actually need to fix that. What am I about? What should I be about? That might help you get to the what am I about? What should you be about? Did you go to school for a certain reason? Do you see a problem in the world that you want to fix? Do you see a gap that you can actually create something to fill? Because that's what you should be about. That's one of your answers, right? Do you fit any of those 3? If not, it's cool. We got more coming. But you need to understand that if another adult comes to you and asks you what you are about, 1, please believe that they know what they are about. And once you get that answer, you kind of expect others to know. So if they don't know, you're kind of like, maybe you lose a little respect for them. How do you walking around as an adult not knowing what you're about? So ask yourself those 3 things, and if that's not enough and you need some more help, let's go to the others. Number 2. Number 2 is find your habits. Find my habits. How is finding my habits going to help me figure out what I'm about? Well, your habits are what you do without even thinking. Your habits are something that you've done so much is on autopilot. That might be what you're about. You might not like what you're about, but your habits are absolutely going to tell you what you're about. You have a habit of sitting on the couch and wasting time. It's pretty much what you're about. You can answer a lot of trivia in regards to commercials that are on TV. That may not be something you brag about, but it's kind of what you're about. You have a lot of time that you've put in sitting in front of the couch, watching TV programming. And during those programs, they show a lot of commercials and you're pretty privy to them. But if that's not what you want to be about, then you need to change your habits. Now, changing habits is not very easy, but first step is to know your habits, trying to get an idea of what you're about. What do I do on a daily basis? Damn, all I do is go to work and come home. That's not what I'm about, or at least that's not what I want to be about. That may be what I'm about, but that's not what I want to be about. Okay, well, let's change that. What else can we do? We go to work. We feel that right now we have to go to work. Okay, but when we get home, what do we want to be about? Is there a goal? Is there a better job? Is there a bigger calling? because that's what you're going to be about. So until you can, get rid of the job or you can get a better job, fine. That's going to take up some time, probably 40 to 50 to 60 hours of your week, Monday through Friday. But when you get home, you're working on what you are about. Number three is to measure your progress. See, we never measure our progress. We don't even know what our habits are. So we damn sure don't measure our progress, right? So how are we going to measure our progress, and progress towards what? Well, we want to know what we're about. We didn't know. We studied our habits. We didn't like what our habits were. And now we're going to measure something. Like, measure what? Well, when we figure out that we don't like our habits, we're going to change our habits. And when we change our habits, we're going to keep track of how often we are maintaining these habits. What are we doing? How often are we doing them? Do we stick with them? Have they become habits? And what's the benefits of doing these things? And because we know that stuff and we've measured that stuff, we can absolutely state, hey, this is what I'm about. I have an answer for that question now. Ask me what I'm about. Ask me. I have that answer. And now, because I have that answer, I expect others to have that answer. But I'm not just going to be a pompous a-hole. I now know how to find that answer for others. Ask yourself. That's the easiest way. And if you have an answer, great. If you don't have an answer, find your habits. And if you don't like your habits and it's not what you want to be, because your habits do tell you what you're about, but you have to change it, then you want to start measuring. You want to understand, like, okay, well, I didn't like my habits. I started to create new ones. I'm starting to do these on a regular basis. They have become habits based on the way I feel in this record that I keep, measuring what exactly I'm doing. I'm measuring my progress. So I know exactly how better I'm getting at exactly what I want to be about. No one can tell me that I can't answer this question anymore. No one can tell you that you can't answer this question anymore. You are now equipped to answer a question that most people never ask themselves. Congratulations. Drills Talk, episode 159. These are the top 3 ways to find out what you are about. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's drills.com. Check this shit out. It's Drills.